everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel, The Empowered Mind. My name is Shanice, and here on this channel you're going to expect a lot of content that is centered around psychology and mindset. So that is primarily the types of content you're going to be seeing from me on this channel. I actually do have my own podcast, which is at the Empowered Mind podcast, which you can listen to on wherever you listen to your podcast. So whether that's Spotify or Apple Podcast. So all those, you can definitely go check it out there. But I thought I really wanted to create a YouTube channel in the year 2023 because I felt like I was missing kind of a visual element where I can actually teach you guys and explain to you more in a visual way, so then you can probably better understand it as well, because there is so many different ways you can teach different types of content. So I definitely want to be able to diversify my content in that way, because it is going to be very much educational as well, because it has that psychology element to it. So a little bit of a disclaimer about my background, I guess, and why I really just love talking about psychology and mindset is I've always really found personal development super interesting. So I really got into it at the age of 17, so this was a while ago. So I'm 25 now, just turned 25, so I've been doing it for quite some time. And I also do a criminology degree, so there is an element of psychology that we are learning, so the different theories associated with psychology. So I definitely would like to come up with backed up research and explain the different theories that I find interesting about psychology, and what I have learned from criminology kind of ties into the psychology as well. So that is definitely going to be some content I'm going to be creating for you guys, so stay tuned for all that. But in my first ever YouTube video today, I'm going to be talking about how you can become the best version of yourself in 2023. So I have a fair few tips that are pretty simple, but when I say simple, they are not necessarily easy. So you've got to really try to work through these tips the best you can, because if you do follow these simple tips, you will definitely be seeing a change in how you are from the start of 2023 to the end of 2023. So if you would like to know those tips and would love to become the best version of you, then just keep watching. So my first tip I will give you guys is to reflect on 2022. So this is where you're going to dissect 2022. Look at it month by month and see what you kind of achieved, like the milestones you achieved or the obstacles that you face within each month of 2022. So this could look so different compared to different months that you encountered, but some are going to have highs and some are going to have lows. So you've definitely got to reflect on those and kind of write those down. So I do find this easiest when I write this down. So I will actually get pen and paper, or you could type it out on your iPad, your laptop, and this is just the perfect way to see what you've done and all the achievements that you've accomplished. And if you had set goals in 2022, you can see if you actually have achieved those goals by seeing if you've achieved them through each month of that year. So I definitely recommend you guys giving this a go. So my second tip for becoming the best version of yourself in 2023 is to create a theme for this year. So when I say a theme, I mean like, what is the theme you want to carry on in this year, whether it be trying new experiences, becoming the best and healthiest version of yourself. Maybe you want to read more. This is the time where you maybe want to engage more in your career, go further in that. So it's just like creating a specific theme for the year that is in terms of your relationships or your career, your personal development, anything like that. And you don't have to have just one theme, but maybe pick about 1 to 3 themes that maybe you'd like to follow in the year of 2023. So for me personally, I want this year to be about trying new experiences and living more adventure. So I am actually going to be traveling just to Melbourne. I'm originally from Perth, but I'm going to Melbourne for a week. So that will be a really good time to just refresh, and it's kind of like a reset, and it gives you, I guess, more perspective on like where you'd like your 2023 to head into. So that's a really great tip, is to set a theme for 2023. So you can get really visual with this as well. You can actually create a Pinterest board. What I like to do is I like to take out my phone or my iPad and I go on the Pinterest app, and then I actually have, so whatever theme I created for 2023, so I'll create that as a board, and then I will look through like posts up on Pinterest that kind of symbolize and represent that life that I want to live and lead in 2023. So you just literally add those posts to your board, and then you can literally go anytime you want, go into the app and scroll through, and it's a really good spark of motivation if you feel as if like you're not motivated at that current time. So it's a really just handy tool to have, and I really encourage you guys to do it. So that leads me into my third tip, which is to write out your New Year's goals. So any goals that you would like to achieve this year, go ahead and write those down. So writing these down, typing these out, whatever suits you better. And also by doing that reflection first thing, like reflecting on 2022 and seeing what goals you actually have achieved, you can like kind of be like, that's a mental cross off that I don't have to do that anymore, and maybe I can go to the next level and go a step further, and actually that can produce a new goal for 2023. So it can kind of link into that previous goal. So I've actually written myself quite a few goals for this year, because I do want to start a few side hustles. I just definitely want this year to be about creating my own source of income as well, and being more independent. So that is definitely one of my goals this year. And I'd be really interested to know what you guys' goals are as well, by even putting a comment down below. And subscribe as well, because I'm going to be definitely creating more content that is related to this video idea as well. So if you guys need help with, your habits, forming new habits, because I definitely can help you guys with that one. So my fourth tip for becoming the best version of yourself in 2023 is to release negative or toxic things from your life. So this is, I guess, things that no longer serve you anymore. So this can be a really confronting stage, because you're really putting the spotlight on the things that you no longer need. Like, you're being critical and you're saying to yourself, okay, I shouldn't probably bring this in with me to 2023. I should leave this behind in 2022, whether that be a bad habit, someone that no longer serves you anymore, a friend, a relationship. So it's definitely confronting, but it needs to be done, because I promise you it will just help with your development and your growth in the long run. So this is really a mandatory step you've got to take. So like a fun little ritual that you could actually do, I don't know if some of you've heard of it, you probably have, but write down any toxic behaviors, toxic habits, a toxic person relationship that you would like to leave and release, and actually write it down on a piece of paper and then just burn it. Like literally burn the piece of paper, and it's like it's symbolizing that you're burning that bad habit from your life. So it's such a therapeutic feeling, and it's like almost this euphoric feeling, because you are literally burning that bad habit, that toxic person from your life. And you can, by doing that, you can actually build on those other connections that you had, or create better and newer habits by releasing those old negative habits. So my fifth tip is to work on your mindset. So in this tip, there are different things that are associated to working on your mindset, whether that be limiting beliefs. So a limiting belief is basically a belief that you have that is actually not true. So it is usually a negative belief, and that could be, for an example, you may think that you're not worthy of love or of a healthy relationship because you've had all your previous relationships have been just terrible, and the people that you've been with have never given you the love you deserve. So like a bad self-limiting belief could mean that you just don't deserve love, when in actual fact that is not true, and you probably are just not meeting the right people. So that's something that you can work on, especially if you want to find love this year. So it's definitely very personal to the individual, but writing things down, and what I find really helpful with like pinpointing my self-limiting beliefs, because sometimes they're not always obvious to us, but by actually journaling, and journaling is just literally so therapeutic, and it's a real eye-opener, and it's sometimes underestimated. And by writing down your thoughts and what you're experiencing, what you've been experiencing lately, and actually recognizing where you're actually believing these things, or why you're believing these things, it can actually help you to identify what it is, what's behind it, what is the root cause of it. So definitely recommend you journaling, even just talking it out with someone that you're really close with, someone that you trust and really value their advice as well, and give good advice. That can be another way if you don't like journaling. So it's whatever works for you. So it's almost you're rewiring your old way of thinking. So that's what you're really trying to achieve, I guess. So my next tip is to create a contingency plan. So this is where you're creating a actual physical plan, putting a plan in place. So if those self-limiting beliefs, those bad habits, they show up, because they will, you always have the good intention of like releasing a bad habit, releasing a toxic person, but sometimes there can be a relapse and you can go back to square one, and that's what we want to try to avoid. So creating a contingency plan is basically a practice of consistent routines that are put in place that you can follow. So this could be, for example, a habit tracker, but I like to go a bit further and think about like, what are my cues, what are my triggers, I guess, that make me not be able to achieve that positive habit. So for example, I really want to try to become a morning person. I've been saying that for the last few years, but I just find it so hard to shut off at night and actually get a decent amount of sleep. And because I'm not switching off at night at a reasonable hour, that is the reason why I'm getting up so late, because obviously your body needs to thrive on 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So I, set the intention, I want to be in bed by 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and then I don't do that. I actually stay up till midnight because I don't know, like, I'm very bad with switching off. I like to watch Netflix just to wind down, but it actually takes me about an hour to get to sleep sometimes. So it's about acknowledging what your triggers are and actually just trying to avoid that. So if you're in a similar state to me, and you want to become a morning person, and you know that you literally stay up till midnight, and then you get up later that day around maybe 9-10 o'clock, and you really wanted to get up at 6, well, I know a trigger for me is that I will watch Netflix till midnight. So what I'm going to start doing is actually at a certain time, whether that's 9 o'clock, I just need to stop looking at my devices or watching TV, and actually go to bed and maybe read a book instead, because that blue light, that when you're on a screen, that's really going to prevent you from actually switching off. So definitely coming up with a contingency plan, something set in place, that when you want to create a good habit to achieve a specific goal, you need to identify your triggers to avoid getting distracted by them. So my next tip is to create a monthly audit. So this is a little bit different in terms of the contingency plan. So the audit is basically you reflecting on your month. So what worked, what didn't work. So I guess you can reassess and then change that contingency plan accordingly. So this will look different for everyone based on your particular habits and particular goals you're striving for. So I can definitely come up with some sort of video idea if you guys would like. So creating monthly audits are really important. I could even create a video, I guess, that are good prompts to just check in and to see if you're on the right track. So my last tip for becoming the best version of yourself in 2023 is to create balance in your life. So when I say create balance in your life, you know, it's so good to go out there and strive to achieve our hopes and dreams and goals. But it's also so important to have rest days and to have fun, you know, let your hair down. I find life is all about balance, and it should be this philosophy of a good balance of work and play. So, you know, don't work so hard that you're burning yourself out, because that's actually not even maintainable and sufficient. So you're definitely going to acknowledge when your body is tired and exhausted and really listen to your body. And that's actually how you're going to strengthen your intuition. And building your intuition, I really want to actually create a video all about that, because I find that so interesting, and I definitely grew my intuition a lot more in the year 2022. So I guess I could give you guys some tips. So I don't know, I'm telling you guys all these fun content ideas I'm definitely going to be filming this year, so I'm just really excited. But yeah, even if that means going to the gym, working out, just having that self-care practice, and you know, everyone's self-care practice is going to be different, but just making sure that you're looking after your body is so important. You know, your physical, your mental, your spiritual health, your emotional well-being is just super important. But this also ties in as well with setting personal boundaries for yourself, but also with other people. So if you honestly feel like you just have so much on your plate and you actually can't see a friend one day or commit to something, you need to be able to voice that in a way that's, you know, polite, but just to let them know that, you know, I've set this boundary for myself and I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to set that standard. So it's tied in really well with standards and boundaries as well, by creating a good balance for yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. I'm definitely really excited to be creating a lot more content. So if you guys want to go check me out on my podcast, I will list it down below. And in terms of what you can expect from the posting schedule of this YouTube channel, I'm going to aim for once a week. So that was actually one of my personal goals. So yeah, I am actually on uni break at the moment, so I do have a lot more time on my hands, and I'm always so excited when uni break comes, because I do have a lot more time to do the things that I actually really enjoy. So yeah, you can definitely stay tuned for that. And you know, when I go back to uni, you could even see some study related content as well. So definitely give me some video ideas and list them down below. So just leave me a comment. But also go follow me on my Instagram account as well, which I will have listed down below as well. But I think that's everything. But I really hope you guys can follow these tips and these strategies, because I have used them before and they have definitely worked. So and you know, you feel better in yourself when you do actually use these tips, and you can actually feel yourself changing and evolving into the person that you really want to become. So I really hope you guys can feel that feeling as well in 2023. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Alright, bye.